how to become unfuckwithable. Sorry, this might be a not safe for work episode, but it's going to be worth it. I want you to become unfuckwithable. Let's guzzle down some bliss today. I love you. Be blessed. Welcome to the Blissful Breakfast with Breegs. We're going to have a glorious time today. I am a big fan of Vishen Lakthiani. He is the creator of Mind Valley, and he, in his book, Code of the Extraordinary Mind, talks about being unfuckwithable, and I love it. In his book, he describes being unfuckwithable as when you're truly at peace and in touch with yourself. Nothing anyone does or says can negatively touch you. I think I got a little bit of that wrong, but for the most part, that's it. Man, when you're truly at peace and in touch with yourself, nothing anyone says can touch you. Like no negativity can get through. Being invincible, unfuckwithable. Yeah, baby. I resonate with that so much. And I do feel like I'm getting closer. I am closer and closer. It's sort of a journey, right? Everything's a little journey, but let's explore how we can become unfuckwithable today. And I'm sorry if that offends you. I generally try to keep clean language just to be friendly and open and inviting for everyone. But on the other hand, you know, if you're offended by something, that's a great opportunity to release something you're holding on to. I think, because I think getting to a state of ultimate peace and unfuckwithability is not being offended. So see how that feels in your heart. You can shut it down right now if you want to and skip this episode. I still love you, but hey, if you want to join me on this quest to being unfuckwithable, invincible, glorious and immortal, no one can touch you, put on some glorious armor. And man, this is going to really help us to bliss out. All right. So being in that state of ultimate peace where nothing can affect you. Well, one, for me, getting to that state is, I would say, like I already said, not being offended. Looking at what triggers you and what offends you and what rises your blood pressure, figuring out what that is and asking why. When we experience trauma, a lot of the times that trauma we hold into our bodies, we now know there's a study that shows that protein cells like in our heart can hold stored emotions. And so we experience something messed up, usually as a child, sometimes later on too. We store that, we have a hard time processing it, and then we kind of live life based off of that experience, right? You had a bad experience with pickles when you were younger, now you don't like pickles. We all have those things. And, it's fine to like, okay, yeah, that happened, I don't like pickles anymore, not a big deal. But there's a state of evolving our consciousness into bliss and abandoning that old crap, addressing it when we actually bring it to the front and look it in the eye and be like, you know what, that you're not going to hurt me anymore just because. So for me, my mom passed away from cancer when I was 22. I don't get offended when I see cancer anymore. I don't think I actually honestly don't even believe cancer is a bad thing. Cancer is merely our cells kind of going rogue. They get out of control. They start multiplying and getting out of control. And, this stuff happens when we're out of tune, when we're out of touch with our body, with our chemistry, with our environment, with our soul's purpose. You can't get sick, I believe, unless your body and your higher self is trying to tell you something. So my mom had gone through a lot of stuff, and she was a wonderful person. She was such an inspiration for being love on this planet. She had just a legacy of love. I love and respect her so much, but she'd gone through a lot, and there's some stuff that she couldn't handle. And she passed away, and there's some things I believe she didn't address in her life and didn't own up to it, didn't explore it, didn't search it, didn't find the right healing. She did go on a path of healing and she was intentional, but there's some things I think that she didn't quite get to. And it sucks that I wasn't really able to help her. I don't have regrets in life, but that is something I would have loved to have done. But anyway, so my mom dies of cancer. I don't get like, at first, definitely when people would talk about moms and talk about parents, and like, oh, your mom this, or mom jokes, or I'd get offended from people's mom jokes, because my mom died. That makes sense, right? That's linear, that's logical. But I think there's a next level to that, is where you don't have to get offended by anything, regardless of your past trauma. You can be unfuckwithable. You're at peace with yourself. I'm at peace with it, My mom lived crazy life, but she, I believe it was for a purpose. And, if she wanted to opt out at that time, that's fine. She opted out. Yeah, so hold on a second. Black belt conversation here. Like, we gotta be calm and cool and collective and open about this. All right. I trust you. You're a friend. You're listening to this. I trust you so we can have this conversation. Okay. Or neither of us are going to get offended. All right. So I believe that like we come to this planet, this earth, and at a high level, at a soul level, we choose when we go. We choose, you know what, this place isn't for me anymore. I'm out of here. And maybe that's going to positively impact someone else. Because I believe when my mom left the planet, that gave me this giant upgrade of like, oh my gosh, I don't care about anything. Like I lost the most important person in my life. Boom, nothing matters. But nothing matters to the point where at first that was bad, and then it went to a place of health. It went to a good place of like, you know what, nothing matters. I'm just going to be myself. I don't care what people think anymore. I'm going to be the best version of myself. I'm just going to live life. So I think those catalyst opportunities of you get in a car crash, you get to a major thing, someone dies, this happens, you really rethink life. And so I think there's so much beauty in death. And it's just a part of this life cycle and this incarnation. It's good. You're born, you live, you die. It's great. You keep cycling through, you keep going, it's rolling, it's fine. So anyway, I'm not offended by people who talk about cancer. I don't think cancer is even a bad thing, technically, like at a higher level. Obviously, I want to see no people with cancer, right? Like ever since my mom died, like I don't want anyone to get cancer ever again. That's my purpose in life. But, I think I'm not offended by cancer. Cancer is fine. It's just a natural consequence. And I believe, you don't have to believe this, okay? This is just my perspective, and this helps me live a joyful, unfuckwithable life. And maybe I have more to learn and grow. That's fine. But I think cancer is fine. It's just a symptom of us not being right in our soul. Your soul is telling you something. Wake up, You can't. I think also anger turns into cancer. And so if we don't address anger, and there's a lot of, look it up, man. There's a lot of different texts and scriptures and resources that mention this. And I believe it's true that anger is basically the source of cancer. So, but anyway, I'm not worried about that. It's something that offends me. Because I dealt with that stuff, it's okay. My mom died. That happened. That's fine. That sucked. That was the worst. But I'm ultimately going to be better for it. And I think it was the time for my mom to go. And she could have not gone. I think she could have addressed anger and that stuff. And lived a great life and kept going. But that wasn't, the path that she ended up choosing, or that ended up, being in her hand. So that's fine. So I love that. I accept that. I let that go. I'm not offended by mom jokes, by cancer. I'm not worried about it, and maybe that's a bit of an extreme example, but there's so much freedom when you're able to address things and let them go and love them. All right. So I think the next step into that is loving the things in your life, loving the people that hate you, truly having love for yourself when you mess something up. Like, oh man, I'm hurt. Like I feel this pain in my body. And I love that. Like not resisting things. If what you resist persists. So loving things and forgiving people. Man, forgiving people is going to get your booty on the track to being completely unfuckwithable, unstoppable, being this being of pure love and light. I was just plain and simple. And we've had some neighbors recently that really, like, they had this sort of, I would say, childish outburst on us about our lawn maintenance and stuff when we were gone on vacation and blah, blah, blah. And they just were really, like, they were obviously, it triggered something in them, right? But I was really disappointed in them because they didn't talk to us in love and in like, hey guys, like, your grass got really long. You guys don't get rid of your dandelions. So, this is happening. Is there any way you guys could do better at that, or blah, 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 or put some more effort into that? Like, that would be fine. That'd be cool. But like, cause we love our dandelions. They're good for the bees. We're kind of hippies, man. I should probably have prairie grass. I shouldn't live in town, all that stuff, But I get, like, we low priority right now on our landscaping. But like, they stomped on over and had 5 years of resentment, I think, and just like unleashed their trauma on us. And it was fine, but it was stressful because it was like, man, I don't usually have these kind of confrontations with neighbors or people I know, like, that's weird. Like, wow, why wouldn't you just like talk to me sooner? Or, why would you just like throw a fit and then not be reasonable afterwards? And which is fine. Like, they're different people. They don't need to be in our lives. They're still our neighbors for the time being. But anyway, that was a great opportunity for me to like, I would constantly like look around, them, and be like, they're petty, or, I kind of have these judgments on them. But like, the more and more it's like, oh my God, they're doing the best they can. Who knows what's going on in their life? Maybe someone's sick, maybe blah, blah, blah. Obviously, they're getting pressure from the other neighbors who really care about that crap. So like, okay, they're experiencing stuff, and like, who cares? That's fine. They can choose to do whatever they want. I'm just going to live a happy life, and I want to be as respectful and loving as possible. But like, dude, I need to forgive them. I need to make sure I don't have any kind of resentment, any unforgiveness. And so obviously there's bigger things, like me forgiving my dad and just loving him and accepting him and being super clear with him, because he was someone, my parents got divorced when I was 6, and he was not the best influence in my life. And he always talked about his dogmatic religion and doing this and that, and was so judgmental and just, man, I don't even know. But like, and was not the dad that I felt like I should have had, and I just, forgiving him is great. Like, just forgiving, he did the best he could. He had a messed up situation growing up and blah, 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 and didn't fully get love from his mom. And you know what? Just going to love him, forgive him, and I'm going to have boundaries and then just keep moving forward. And honestly, that kind of stuff, forgiving people, leads to a tremendous unfuckwithability, and you just feel on top of it. I just, that stuff's not going to affect me anymore. Okay. I'm in control of my reality. I get to choose the people in my life. I get to choose how I perceive the world. I get to choose forgiveness. I get to choose love, and just choosing that kind of stuff is awesome. So I have a hack here, and I know I mentioned this in a previous episode. Maybe you didn't see it, but it's worth mentioning again. A hack to feeling triggerless. So you don't get triggered by cancer, you don't get triggered by parents, you don't get triggered by, different things that happen in your life. Whatever you get triggered by, pickles, is to imagine your higher version of yourself, your higher self, the version that's triggerless, that version that is unfuckwithable. Imagine them and sort of like, you talk to them, but then like become them. Imagine being them and how they would respond. How would they respond? It's a great technique, honestly. I learned it from Bentinho Massaro. Highly recommend checking him out. This spiritual dude who is on another level. So anyway, let's get a little bit more unfuckwithable. I hope these techniques, these different things, are going to help you to achieve that state of transcendence and to bliss out more. If you're listening via podcast, man, I would love it so much if you left a review. Please, leave a review or not. It would mean the world to me, honestly. But if you're listening on YouTube, dude, smash that like. Hook a brother up with a little subscribe, little juicy subscribe action. All right, I love you and stay blissed.